Welcome to a new episode of Marketer Access. Today I will give you some of the so-called secrets behind what we think about when we set up marketing strategies. It's not really rocket science, but I'm going to pinpoint some of the things that needs to be taken into consideration for a marketing strategy to be successful. Let's dive into it. So I call it a successful marketing strategy, 5 principles to follow. And as I said, these are principles that when a client, say, comes to us and asks us, what should I do with my marketing? Or if we're putting a strategy for them, then these are the things that we consider. Now, if people are not asking for a strategy, but asking for specific marketing services, we still make sure that these things are in order. Because if not, there's initiatives, and you end up with these typical situations where, and this is important, I'm going to actually take myself up here. You get into these situations where you do like the social media, or you do the advertising on Google, or you do the website setup, but it's not aligned with a successful marketing strategy. It's just an initiative. Someone had told the boss that, oh, you need some social media, or you need some of this. There's no reasoning as to why. So it's really important that whatever initiatives are done in marketing is linked to a strategy to be successful. You can't blame an initiative for not being successful if the strategy is not in place for that initiative to be successful. So it's not the initiative in itself that is necessarily bad or not done correctly, is the strategy behind it. So we'll dive into that. So the first question I'm gonna discuss is, what is the best marketing strategy for a small business? Now, if there was one answer to this, everyone would have been doing it, and every marketing agency would have been operating the same way, and every business could just do exactly the same as the next business. Now, the problem is that a business is not unique. A very obvious example is a physical business, say a grocery store, is very different from online coaching, for example. Very, very different. The way the sales cycle works, the way you need to market yourself, where your base of potential client resides, completely different. Everyone needs groceries on a daily basis, but they have the option between different shops. Now, not everyone thinks that they need online coaching. So that is a little bit of a different approach. You have to approach things differently, and it might be a different target group. Another example, because I did mention that sales cycles can be very different, which we need to take into consideration when we're marketing a product. For example, if someone is buying a new car, let's say a Toyota, so something not the most expensive and not the cheapest. So it's a car. The sales cycle for a car is very different than a sales cycle for a small item like a pen. A pen is something, oh, I need a pen, and I go to the shop and I buy it. A car is sort of, yeah, no, I need a car. I need to figure out what car I need. I need to figure out what I want, maybe features. Oh, is that feature worth what they're charging? What are the different pricing options? What deals are out there? There's a lot of different things that's considered. And then you maybe decide which car, and then you consider maybe if you should have finance, should you be leasing, should you pay it cash if you have that opportunity. So the sales cycles are very, very different. So we have to understand that as a part of setting a marketing strategy. To just flash a Ferrari on Facebook and think that someone's going to buy it is very far-fetched. But if we're talking about a chocolate, a lot easier. Well, I might not buy the chocolate online because the delivery is going to be too expensive. So that's also something to consider. So how are we actually doing that? Very relevant to set a successful marketing strategy. So I'm going to dive into each of these things. I'm going to dive into marketing, what strategy, and small business specifically, and then the different marketing options out there. So marketing in itself is a very broad term. If I tell someone that I run a marketing agency, it's very broad. Everyone that I talk to will have their own opinion about what I do. Some people will say, oh, she does social media. Some people will say, oh, she does websites. Oh, she does lead generation. Oh, she does branding. She does design. What is marketing? Is it advertising, PR? Is it branding? What about positioning? What about message development? So we run, for example, workshops for people to help pinpoint their target group and messaging so that is efficient. It's really important for the overall strategy, but it's something many ignore. Or we see that it's a great need for businesses to do this properly. Do people remember it? Maybe not. But it is it's a very relevant part of marketing. Positioning, lead generation. What about nurturing? What about post-sale marketing? There's a lot of elements of marketing that is under the term marketing. So people have very different opinions of what that actually is. This we need to take into consideration. How do you set the marketing strategy if you don't know what you consider marketing? What should you include? Should you include positioning? Should you include messaging? Should you include targeting? What should be included in a marketing strategy? Becomes quite large and quite difficult to overcome, maybe. So it's but I'm going to get back to the principles on how to get to the bottom of this as we move along. Then strategy is a broad term as well. If you ask small business owners and marketers, what does strategy mean? You will really get a different answer from different people. For some, it might mean how different initiatives play together. For others, it might be how to spend my money. It can really mean a lot of different things for different people. So if you're going to set a marketing strategy, we need to be aligned on what is a strategy. Then we have small business, which also really broad idea. What is a small business? So on the South African government pages, they say a small, and below that they call it like micro and mini and all that kind of stuff. 10 to 49 employees, but they also define by having less than 20 million rand in income. So it's two different measurements. But now, if you are one person or three people, you probably also consider yourself a small business. So it's quite a broad idea. Also, the US Small Business Administration has a different definition for small business for every single industry. So there could be revenue between $2.25 million. Now this is very different from the Rand one. It's about twice as much, to more than 47 million. So it's quite a massive difference in what people define as a small business. And also in terms of employees, it ranges from 100 to 1,500 employees. So we see that the definitions of what a small business is really broad. So what I would like to rather rephrase it as a business. And then we take, because the principles that I'm going to go into will be relevant for any business, any size, any industry, product, services, whatever it is. And if that sounds very ambitious, it's just because these are very basic principles, but it will work. Then we have the fact that methods of marketing are expanding exponentially. The importance for a marketer to keep up to date with what's going on is very important. However, it is almost impossible to do so. So you have to read and research things all the time to analyze new knowledge, take it into the context of what you already know. If you're just a marketer, stop searching for knowledge, or stop seeing the relevance in new things that you read, or trying to defend the way that you're doing things, you're completely failing. So the internet and technology in general have really spawned thousands of new methods for getting in front of customers. And every day there's more options added. So how do you navigate that jungle? And we do have some major categories, and within those you can dive in much more in details for all of them. But it's a lot. So if you're locked into only one way of thinking, like Facebook advertising, it's very, very limiting. So you cannot be limited when setting your strategy to a specific platform. That will fall out of your strategy afterwards. So here are the 5 principles to follow. If you as a business owner deal with any marketer, in-house or external, that is not asking how your business model works or what your business goals are, you should consider to fire them if they're outsourced, or if they're in-house, to make sure that they understand what those are. Is really, really important. If you don't have a marketing strategies that is aligned with your overall how you operate your business, it will not work. If you're aiming to have 100,000 leads coming in every day, but has a sales system that can only handle 10,000, you're failing drastically. Then your marketing strategy is off. Yes, you can then increase your sales, but these are the things that you need to consider when setting your strategy. Then you want to prioritize and have a positive return on investment within a reasonable amount of time. So when I talk about concepts of marketing throughout the customer journey, then I twist that around and I give what to prioritize first out of those activities. We'll see that it does not necessarily start with advertising. It very often starts with having your conversion processes in order. So it's really important that it needs to yield positive return on investment within a reasonable amount of time. So when we do strategy, it's important that we make sure that we prioritize activities that gives results quickly. It doesn't mean that we're stopping with a certain result. It means that we need to make sure that there is something sustainable to feed the remainder of the building our processes. Now, again, reasonable amount of time is very broad. So if you have a very long sales cycle, you have a very short sales cycle, do you have high volume, low volume, what does that look like? All of these are individual things that will affect the strategy, but also the implementation strategy. So here we're talking very much about your implementation strategy of your marketing strategy as well. Then you have to target qualified leads. We are not shooting with a shotgun here and trying to hit everyone. We have to target, and a lot of businesses that are not marketers themselves struggle with this concept because they think that their product suits everyone. Now, you don't want to sit with a bunch of bad leads and spend your sales department's valuable time where they can close good leads. You don't want them to spend time on bad leads. So you need to make sure that your strategy is targeting qualified leads when it comes to where to market, what to market, communication in your marketing. Everything needs to make sure that you're targeting qualified leads. It also needs to be measurable. So you want to understand what are you measuring at different times, and what are relevant things to measure. If you're measuring your effect of your Google ads, you can measure clicks to website, for example, or clicks to landing page, if that is relevant. Now, this depends on the purpose of your campaign. Or you can measure conversions, which is number of sales. And you might say, oh, but of course I need to measure the number of sales. That depends. So you mustn't be locked into just because that sounds like a good idea because I want a lot of sales. You need to understand the purpose of that specific activity. So if my purpose is with that activity, which is part of a general strategy, remember, the activity in itself is no value if it's not part of a bigger strategy. But my activity has a measurable. So my activity of advertising can have a measurable to have clicks to the website. While the overall strategy is about converting those clicks further into customers. But we have to understand what is the different roles of the different activities that we are doing. That's why we're creating a marketing strategy. That's why we don't do random initiatives without having a plan on how to get customers out of this that is, on the first point, aligned with your business model and your business goals. Then the last one, which is also really important, is don't get lost in the jungle of advancedness. If you start simple, you can always build out. It should be simple. It doesn't have to be complex. When we've had clients that come to us and this is a full marketing, this is exactly how it works. Really advanced, and then they might even pay a lot of money to get things implemented, and we set up an automation to simplify as well. I'll go into a little bit more into that as well on this point, but they might fail drastically. So simplifying the process, putting up small parts of the process, understanding the bigger picture. So your marketing strategy should be simple, but it can be big, but simple. I'm going to do this there, this there, this there, this there, this there. And overall, that creates a journey and a customer journey and business processes that leads to my overall business goals. That's the purpose of the marketing strategy. It's going to support the overall strategy. Also, when it comes to simplicity, we are big fan. We talked about internet, but also technology, to implement technology as a part of your marketing strategy. So, and this goes, these are small things you need to have as a part of your strategy. It's not a principle in itself to use tech, but it's on the element of keeping it simple. And you might think, oh, but automation is not simple. It makes it simple because you save a lot of time and you create standardized processes that you can improve. So that is about keeping your marketing strategy simple. If you can't map out your strategy or your processes, then they're probably too complex. So you should be able to do that to keep it simple. So the overall goals that you're aiming for with these principles is to get more customers from your marketing. What does that mean? It means having a good strategy, having some decent qualified activities that's going to support that strategy, and helping. I hope there's a last point there. Let tech support the process. We also want to make sure that our marketing budget is spent efficiently. So we want to make sure we do the right thing at the right time. So we want to have the right activity at the right time to make sure that we don't waste our money. So we want to make sure that we spend the right money at the right time. This is a comparison I often pull up, making sure that your strategy aligns with creating a customer journey. We often talk about how to create amazing customer journeys, and this is what it's about. Understanding that your customer goes through a purchase journey and that your business is approaching from the business side with what we call a lifecycle marketing framework, which is activities. When we go to activities, under collecting leads is activities to target, to attract, and to capture. On converting clients, we need activities on engaging, nurturing, offering, and closing. Creating fans, we need activities on delivering, impressing, and multiply. Now, this is both internal processes to make it easier for staff to do so. So creating sales pipelines, efficient reporting on leads and what's working and what's not, and on communication, on delivery of services and all of these things, but also external stuff. Getting reviews, retargeting, capturing all of these, attracting all of these kind of activities as well. So it's really, really important. Now, this can sound a bit overwhelming because it's a lot. This is why a lot of people would rather have help to do this. But this is the basics of how you approach a successful marketing strategy. You need to, if you're missing on these elements, you will struggle, and you will hit that typical, why is things not working? Why is things not working? That doesn't mean that just because you have this in place that it will work, but you will from there be able to improve. If you will pick up what's not working, you will pick up where do people get stuck. You'll know where to put in your resources and where to change things. So it is really important. If you're serious about creating a marketing strategy, these are the things that you must consider or implement or take into consideration. I do have a video here on automation as well. It's quite short, so let me play that.
Greetings from everyone at Keep. Today we're talking about how can small businesses use automation. Howdy, I'm Derek Harju, and today we'll be talking about the ways your small business can use automation. To remain profitable and competitive, small businesses are investing more and more in automation technology and software, with sales and marketing being key automation areas. When you apply automation to your sales and marketing process, not only do you get more profit, but you get more leads, more customers, and better yet, more repeat customers. Marketing automation can help score and nurture leads throughout the sales cycle and boost conversions by targeting customers with the highest purchasing potential. New customers rarely purchase from a business the first time they learn about it, which is why marketing automations such as personalized email campaigns are vital to building and fostering client relationships. Through regular, thoughtfully crafted sends, you'll be able to encourage lead relationships and increase conversion rates. Follow-up emails sent to customers who browse your website, fill out a data capture, abandon their cart, or even write a negative review can help complete the potential transaction. Zappos CEO Tony Hsieh, in his book Delivering Happiness, explained that the best way to gain a customer for life isn't meeting their expectations when they're happy, it's exceeding their expectations when they're unhappy. Follow-ups and tailored communication let your customers know that you're there for them when things go well, but that you'll also be there for them when things go wrong. Let's say you've had an amazing month, best lead closure and purchase volumes you've ever seen. The very next month, everything seems to fall apart. Customers are leaving in droves, revenue is way down, it's a disaster. So what happened? Without automation in place to track the customer journey, you'll likely just be guessing, which is a great recipe for long-term failure. How long did it take the customer to make a transaction? How soon after reaching the website did they receive a follow-up email? What information did they submit to complete the purchase? Maybe they bailed on their cart, but at what part of the process? Did they click away? What marketing assets are leading to the highest conversions, and which ones are bringing customer engagement to a screeching halt? With simple automation, you can see critical data on your customer's journey and make intelligent adjustments to keep your leads engaged, closed, and nurtured month after month. Still unsure where to apply automation created by software like Keep? Here are just a few of the top performing areas being automated by successful small businesses as we enter 2020. Routine communication, data entry, billing, basic paperwork, appointment scheduling, employee hiring, training, TV VCR repair, or get your degree. You can major in business management or accounting. Wait, that's a different commercial. And as we've discussed, email campaigns, follow-ups, and customer journey monitoring. Once automations like this are in place, your existing team will be set up for success and freed up to focus on big picture ideas and decisions that can help grow your small business. Thanks for watching How Can Small Business Use Automation, presented by Keep.
So this was just a little video that, but I think it's quite good in exemplifying what can you actually automate in your marketing and in your sales, which is sort of integrated part of your marketing strategy as well. So that was just created by Keep.
Greetings from everyone at Keep. Today we're talking about...
There we go. Oh, that was the last one. So yeah, if you have any questions about anything related to marketing strategy, or want to get the recording of this, or just having some questions, feel free to contact us. We on email, we on the different social channels. We love answering questions. We love marketing strategy. We like initiatives that actually get results. So it's quite important to include these things in your marketing strategy as well. Lastly, my only one recommendation from there on is do not get overwhelmed. Just do it one step at a time. Take the principles, make sure that you are incorporating it in your marketing strategy. You rather spend that time on doing it in a conducive way for setting up a marketing strategy for success, rather than just setting a strategy just to have a strategy. You want to make sure that you use the principles in play to make that strategy successful. With that, I want to say thank you for watching. The guys watching in replay, feel free to fire your questions. We will reply afterwards as well. And I wish you best of luck in